Okay, so I wanted to welcome everyone to our call tonight. My name is Christy Borders, and I just have a love and passion for this business, and it's blessed my life a lot. So I just have this kind of obligation to share it. And, if it's a good fit after we end the call tonight, if it's a good fit for you, then let's talk more and figure out next steps, basically. But, this opportunity has really like transformed my life physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, you name it. It's been a blessing to me and to my family, and I want to kind of share that with everyone else. So kind of like what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to first kind of start off with my story, and hopefully there will be points that you can relate to in my story that kind of get your wheels rolling. And then after that, we're going to kind of go into like what a coach is, kind of like how you would grow your business using social media, and then just talking to people. We'll talk about how to earn money, because obviously that's a big part of it. That the reason why you would probably join a business was you would like just a little bit more wiggle room in your budget, or you're like suffocating in debt like I was, or you just want to go on a family vacation and you haven't been on one for a while. Kind of you name it. But we'll go over like how you earn money, and then how to sign up, right? So we'll go over those things. We'll kind of talk through some fears that you might have, that I've had on my team, other members of our team have had. I'll kind of like talk you through those. If you're nervous about like, well, I'm not into sales, I hate sales. All of my friends have come to me before and want me to do this or buy this, and I'll tell you what, like, we aren't into sales either. I just talk to people about, I get to know them and find their pain points. And if what I do as a coach makes sense for them and will help them, then, I invite. So we'll kind of go through that. And then at the end, any questions that you have, I will go over them, and then we'll call it a night. Hopefully we can do this in like 30 to 45 minutes. I think we can. And then, we'll just jump off. But I ask as we start that you kind of just walk into it with an open mind, right? I want you to just, what was I going to say? I want you to just, well, first of all, I'm not here to convince anyone, right? It's not the business that I'm in. I want you to just think about, like, first of all, like, why you need something different in your life. There was this quote that I ran into probably around the same time that I started coaching. It was a couple of years ago. And it says, if you want something different, you have to do something different. And at that point in my life, I did. We needed something different in our life. I had walked away from my job, and we were like getting deeper and deeper into debt. And I knew that I walked away from my job because I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and I knew I didn't want to go back to working, being away from my kids. And so I had that why, and once you have a why, then it kind of like renewed that sense of hope for me, and that I didn't need to stay stuck where I was at, that I could like dream a little bit, and I could work towards that life that I wanted to have. So yeah, it's a compliment. Like, anyone that invited you here, it's a compliment that you're here, because they saw something in you that 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 would make them want you to be a part of our team. It's we don't just want anybody on our team. We want someone that's that we know can inspire others, that are okay with getting outside that comfort zone, and helping people outside themselves to change their life too. So just know that, be confident that you were kind of like handpicked and are here for a reason. So let me just start with my story, okay? I kind of just got into it a little bit, but 2.5 years ago, well, let's see, 3 years ago, I walked away from, well, I could start a little bit back before that. So I was I've got almost a 5-year-old, right? And growing up, I was, athletic. I was always in shape. I went and, ran track in college and volleyball, all that stuff. And then I became a mom. And that first pregnancy kind of did me in. I was working like 60 plus hours a week, and then I had a baby, and then I had to stay at that job because we didn't have any other option. My husband became a stay-at-home dad, and I worked full-time. And for the longest time, I thought that that's what it had to be like. I felt completely stuck. I really just hated, like, every day. I just had this pit in my stomach going into work, and I knew that I was missing out on things at home, and I hated it. It was just awful. After my first daughter, I got pregnant 6 months after my first daughter was born. Super surprised, but got pregnant, and I had a second daughter in 16 months. So from there, after she was born, our second one was born, I was just like, you know what, enough is enough. Money isn't everything, apparently. I can't do this anymore. I want to be at home. I missed firsts of everything during our first daughter's life, and I didn't want that to be my life. I decided that I wanted something different, right? Like what I said earlier, if you want something different, you have to do something different. So I walked away from my job, and my husband started up his business as a financial advisor. It was very slow going our first year. He just had to start building it slowly, and we did not make any money, really. And so when I walked away from my job, I think I was making like $80,000 a year, right? Big deal. To walk away and to have faith that it was still going to work out. So basically, at the end of that first year, 6 months into me being a stay-at-home mom, one, I missed out on that adult interaction. I'm sure you can relate to that. Two, I just missed having something of my own. Everything was all about my kids, right? And I definitely experienced some postpartum depression. I had no energy. I was 70 pounds overweight. Just my life was it was awful. Honestly, it was awful. I hated it. Every day, it was interesting because it was like the grass was greener on the other side, right? I hated my life as a hi Sarah. I hated my life as a working mom, but then when I stayed home, it didn't get much better. It was just different, and I was super miserable from that time. So I had a friend first, before I get into that, Andrew, he bought the program T25 from an infomercial, and at the beginning I didn't want to do it. There was no way I could figure this out. I was an athlete. I can do this. But I eventually tried it out, and I lost 60 pounds, and I did the program twice through. And so I was back to being my normal self. I was happy. I had energy again. I wasn't laying on the couch until 1 p.m. I was in a much better place. So after that, then I heard about this opportunity, and I said, whoa, wait a minute. I've already been talking to people about what I've been doing. Naturally, when you're transforming yourself, people are going to start asking questions like, hey, Christy, what are you doing? You're losing a lot of weight. So I was sharing, right? If we get a haircut from a lady that you loved your haircut, you're just going to go and share it because it was good, right? And that's what we do in this business. But if you're thinking you haven't started your own journey, that's okay too, right? There's nothing more inspirational than starting your journey and then bringing others with you. Hey, we're gonna join hands and we're gonna do this together. So if you have that little guy on your shoulder saying, well, you can't do this because you're overweight, or you're not at your goal weight, then just tell that voice where it needs to go, right? because really, everyone on our team, we're all shapes and sizes, and we're all, we've got teachers, we've got stay-at-home moms, we've got other full-time moms, other career women, kind of a whole everything on our team. So yeah, it's basically like what you make out of it is what you get. So then I hear about this opportunity and I said, look, I want this noose that like we like had of, we were just getting deeper and deeper into debt. I wanted that loosened. I wanted to take a vacation and not be guilty, not feel guilty about it. I wanted to like pay for things. Like honestly, in the beginning, I had not bought my children shoes. Every single pair of shoes was a hand-me-down. And that was like a goal in the beginning. It sounds like silly, but that was something that I wanted to do, right? I'm like, I want to get brand new shoes for my kids and not put it on a credit card. And so I hit, I hit that goal and I was like, this is freaking awesome. This opportunity is legit because I just, got shoes for my kids. But, I don't know about you, but there's probably things in your life that you can relate to that, right? Like you want to be able to, go on vacation without putting on a credit card. Like this, you want to get out of debt. You just want some more wiggle room, right? You want to not have to say no to things. You want to bless the lives of other people. Like a huge thing for us is like, we really want to help out, like, the extreme poor. Oh, are you frozen? I'm not frozen. Can you not hear me? Oh, better now. Okay, sorry. Sorry, Tessie. Okay, so yeah, so that's basically what I wanted, right? And that just gave me like an opportunity to dream a little bit, to know that like my life could be different. So I said yes to the opportunity because I walked into someone that had there was a recipe for success. She kind of met me where I was at and said, here, like, what do you want in this business? She asked me my goals and it said, okay, with these goals, you need to do this, X, Y, and Z. I followed the recipe and, and we found success in it, right? And that's what I would do for you as our coach. Like our team members, you just would be surrounded by a team of people that, that we're all working on our own journeys, but we all like support each other, right? If someone does, hits a goal of theirs, then we high five each other. We don't like stab people in the back, right? We are genuinely happy for them. If anyone on our team, if something's going well for them, like we congratulate them, we honor them, we're excited with them. Honestly, I've never been in a place where I've had as much support as I am as a coach on our team. I absolutely love it. It's just great. So that's basically my story. I started 2.5 years ago. I just had to say yes because I'm like, what if it works, right? Like at the time, my coach was making like $200,000 a year, right? And I'm like, you know what? Even if I make $20 a week, like that's going to be something that's a big deal for us, right? So I'm like, even if I fail her by 90%, then we're going to be in a better spot than we are now. That's kind of literally how I looked at it. And so you could look at it the same way, right? Like, what if, in 2 years from now, like we could be making $2,000 more a month, right? It's crazy. If you think it's a get rich quick scheme though, like it's not that. It builds over time. And as you help people and then, and you share and invite others, then it starts to grow, right? Then they start helping others and, over time, it all just works itself out, and there's good bonuses that you can qualify for as you help more and more people. So yes, I am happy that I said yes. And if I hadn't said yes, I don't know where my life would be. And I know that it wouldn't be as happy as it is now. I know that my marriage wouldn't be as good as it is now because we focus a lot on personal development and just getting right with our own crap, working through our own stuff. We focus a lot on, obviously like eating right and exercising and, not being perfect, but just like progressing and getting a little bit better every day. Every day. So, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I love it. It's my passion, and that was my story. So hopefully, as you're going, if you're, thinking of those Me Too's, like, yeah, like I would love that, then, don't fight that, that voice. Don't fight it. Like it's kind of like maybe you're getting tapped on the shoulder for a reason, right? So basically, what is a coach? Like in a nutshell, what does it mean to be a coach? So obviously, like we talked about this before, you don't have to be a coach, or you don't have to be like in the best shape of your life to start coaching people. I said that earlier, like it's really inspiring to see a coach like start from the day one, on their journey, and take others with them. And then there's a lot of people on our team that are that are still on their journey, but they're still making like $1,000 a week, right? That's right now, just to be transparent, I'm like at $2,000 to $3,000 a month. And that's in 2.5 years. You can go faster than that. You can go slower than that. I think it's good for us. I definitely want to like increase that, but that was with like, we're making that with having like a baby, moving 2 times, like having a career change for my husband. So like there's a lot of like life stuff going on, and we're still able to make this work, right? Like you don't have to do this like all day to be all in, right? You can fit it in like 30 minutes here, or on a lunch break, or staying up 30 minutes after hubby goes to bed or something like that. You really can fit it in with we have this recipe of success of certain tasks that you should do every day to like build your business, and if you're consistent with it, it'll work. I wrote some notes, so I want to make sure I cover it. So like if you're as a coach, basically like there's like some vital behaviors that we should be doing every day. We should be trying to get a workout in. But the last 2 days I haven't been feeling my best, so I haven't, right? And I share that because it gives permission for other people to not be perfect, right? So it kind of like takes that away. So we do that, and we drink our Shakeology, and for me that has just been an awesome thing to like help me stay on track. It gives me energy. It helps me to it's a quick meal for a busy person that, busy mom like me, or someone that's on the go. I do those 2 things and I share them. And because those are the things that give me results, and that's, obviously inspires people. And then I read, there you go, Sarah. I read personal development. So like 10 minutes a day. I actually prefer to do it more than 10 minutes just because it helps me stay in the game. But you work on your mind, on your mindset, right? Like, honestly, like if you believe something, like, or what you believe you'll conceive, right? Or what you believe you'll achieve. So we have to work on our mindset so that we can believe in ourselves, right? Because honestly, like everyone has like, I believe in a God who is like completely, he's made us perfectly. We are already like everything that we need to be. And then through personal development, for me, like that just kind of like peels back like those layers of junk so that I can like be my best. So that's why I do personal development. And that's what I teach our team is, if your business isn't, going anywhere, it's because you're probably not doing personal development. You don't believe in yourself. You've lost a little bit of hope. So we really, stress the importance of that. And I mean, that's a pretty awesome environment to be a part of, I think, because like people that are always working on themselves, because honestly, like we live in a pretty negative world, right? So, sorry, my husband just came in. So like being surrounded by people that believe in you, that are also working, to be positive and be their best selves it's a pretty awesome environment. So, you don't have to be like a fitness professional. We're not doctors. We're not You can be a doctor. We're not nutritionists. We're just people, honestly, who just love the products. They work for us, and we're just interested in building relationships with people. And we eventually find their pain points, and if Beachbody, if a challenge group is something that will help solve a problem for them, then we invite people to that. So basically, yeah, we talk to people about their goals, and we build a genuine relationship. I think that's what really sets us apart with some other businesses, is that we lead with the relationship. We, like for me, like my goal is to talk to like 3 to 5 people a day. No strings attached. Like I don't talk to people thinking, okay, I really want you to be in my next challenge group. Like that's not, like we have to that's not in our peripheral. But eventually, as you get to get to know them, then, and they're saying like, yeah, I have no energy. Like, mom life is just not what it cracked up to be. You start hearing about like, I'm like super, I'm super unhappy. Like I, cry every time, I'm putting on clothes in the morning. So I hear that, and then I'm like, oh, well, I'm a professional problem solver, right? Like that's how I look at myself sometimes. And so when I hear that, then, I just like, hey, well, have you ever considered being a part of one of my challenge groups? Like, your story is, my challenger stories, and then I tell them like, this person started out this way, and, she'd lost this much, and she's, way happier, you kind of just like sift through it that way. So that's basically what we do. And then, yeah, we just recommend like a program for them. And then we kind of put them in our challenge group where every day we are checking in, and we have like daily challenges. We have basically this big place of support and accountability. And from there, the people that are just rocking it, then I invite those people to something like this, that they just to learn more about their opportunity. Because for me, my why in the beginning was just to help one other person get that success story that I had, right? Like I had lost all of that weight. I had, I liked my life again. I was a better wife. I was a better mom. Like if I could help one other person get that same transformation, then it would be worth it to me. And so that's why other people, start to join in, because they see that and they want that, and then they want to they kind of like have this obligation to share. Like that's kind of like where I'm coming from. So it never should feel like sales. Like if it does feel like it, then you're not doing something right. Like on our team, we train how to not be salesy, because we don't like it when people do that to us. And so then we, obviously won't want to do it to them, So yeah, as a coach, we just focus on building relationships with people. We talk to people about our goals and just provide like inspiration for others by using our products and by through sharing through social media. And yeah, and then like I said, you're just going to be sponsoring other coaches to do these same activities as you. Like I'm never going to ask something of someone that I'm not willing to do myself. And I really now that I've been in it for, quite some time, over 2 years, then I kind of just cut back that learning curve where I'm like, okay, I went through the junk. This is actually what you need to do for, to move your business forward in a really succinct, honestly, at the very most, you could get everything done in 10 hours a week. You can really do an hour a day of specific tasks, which, if you had such a reason why, then you would be able to find an hour, right? If it's 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, if your why was big enough, then you would kind of just reprioritize the things in your life and would be able to figure it out. So yeah, that's basically what a coach is. And if anyone has questions, you can chime in, or you can type them in our chat just for that section. But if not, I'm gonna just keep on rolling. I think I'll just keep on rolling. But you can ask questions. At the end, we will definitely ask or answer questions. And then I'm kind of going to go into now how you can grow your network, like through social media, and then just like life in general, right? Because a lot of people, I hear the objections like, well, I don't know enough people, right? And I get that, right? I honestly, when I started, I probably had like 200 friends on Facebook. And I thought that same thing. I didn't know very many people. I was a person that honestly, like if I had a baby, like I posted on Facebook saying, hey, like welcome to the world. I didn't post much. Now it's a little bit different. But yeah, so basically like for me, and what I teach our team is you want to be like adding like 3 to 5 people a day to your network so that you always like have people to be talking to. And how we do that is, we have like this memory jogger, right, of every person that you might have come in contact to in your life. Even if you think that they would be interested or not, you write them down. And because it's not always that person that you might eventually help, but it's, there's a statistic saying like every person by the time they're 20, they know 2,000 people, right? So if it's not that one person, then it might be one of those 2,000 people that they know. So, if you're inspiring someone, but they already have something that's working for them, they might share it with someone else saying, hey, like, I'm not interested. Like if you ever are talking to them, I'm not interested, but, my friend Sarah is. And so that's kind of like how it works, right? That's where like you kind of have to take those blinders off and think, okay, you might not be interested, but you never know who's going to be interested. But then, it's not always about them. It's about the people they know as well. So basically we just, have this like working list. You always have to work from a list. And you just start conversations with people. But like to grow that network, you go through your friends list, your friends of friends, a spouse's list, joining groups of people, like things that you're interested in, like if you're really into gardening, then like joining gardening groups, and then talking through people there, and then eventually becoming friends with them and, and building a relationship there. Like for me, I've, my daughter's in preschool. And I, this year decided really to get involved with her preschool, like being, a room mom or whatever. And I've built a lot of great relationships there. And, this month, there's like 3 girls that are in my challenge group. I just decided to like run a group for them. So that's been super fun, right? Like had I like chose to like stay at home and always be in my box, then I wouldn't have been able to like build those relationships with people. But look, like I met those women like back in September, right? Now it's May and they're in a challenge group. So it doesn't happen overnight, but as long as you're like constantly like meeting people and, and building relationships with them, then you'll never ever run out of people to talk to, right? Because then if I'm helping, my friend, and let's say her name is, I'm trying to think of someone that's not in it, Jessica. So if I help Jessica and I give her a good experience, then just like that awesome haircut, like she is going to tell her people, right? She's going to send referrals, or she's going to become a coach herself, and then she's going to start helping other people. So, as long as like you give people a good experience, then they're going to start sharing it. So it kind of like takes that, weight off your shoulders of always like having to be in the hustle. But that's kind of just what it is, right? Like just adding people, getting outside yourself, getting outside your comfort zone. I love getting outside, like out of my computer, behind my screen sometimes, and like having genuine relationships with like real life people, right? So that's kind of what you do, really. Like you're a proof the product works on social media, like that's, we share that part of it. And then we also invite people to join us, right? Like you add them to your Facebook, your friends list, and then you eventually you on Facebook you announce that you're having a challenge group, and then invite people to that if at that point it makes sense for them to join. So, and then there's other people, like when you post that you never even knew would be interested, they just like comment and say, hey, tell me more about your group, which is super fun. But that's, you have to invite, because if you don't, then your business doesn't go anywhere. And that's scary, but we teach a really like I have a system of non-sales approach to it, of like, hey, this is how you have a conversation with someone. It's not all just like throwing it in their face. It's really trying to like find out what like why it would be a good thing for them. So that is basically what it is on social media. It's not all things Beachbody. Like if you decide to do this, that is just one thing in your life. Like for me, there's I'm a coach, like a track coach, so I like to share a lot about that and how like my kids inspire me. I'm a mom, so I talk about mom life. I do share like about my my journey of like eating and of doing my workouts, but that's another part. I talk about my marriage, and so that's like another thing that I'm super passionate about. Like I basically just tell people like, okay, find 5 things that you're passionate about, and then kind of like rotate through those things so that it's not like this Beachbody billboard, right? Because we don't want that. I know we probably like know somebody on our Facebook friends list that does that, that they're all about all things, but you want to brand yourself, and you don't want to just promote your company. You want to promote yourself and say, this is why I decided to do it, and this is what it's doing for me. Sorry, my daughter she just opened the door and hey, Lindy, can you shut the door, please? I know, she just got out of the bath. She's naked. Hold on one second. I'm coming. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Got a naked girl at my door. Hopefully daddy will come soon. Yeah, I know, seriously. Embarrassing. But yeah, so yeah, you brand yourself. You kind of just like think about like, the person, like a target audience, like I kind of like try through social media to talk to like the person who I once was, like someone that was kind of like stuck at her job, someone that was, unhappy with her mom life, or, now like someone who's a stay-at-home mom that, is just trying to like find something else, like outside of her kids, people that, were overweight, that I talk to those people and, kind of try and give them hope. And so that's kind of like when you're posting, you think about like that target audience, and then you talk to them, and then those are the people that like you attract, right? Like we're not about chasing people. We try and just attract people because of the way that we share and the inspiration that we are to them. But that is kind of that in a nutshell. Hopefully that answers questions about how you would build your network. The next one, and most exciting part for most people, is like how to earn money. So yeah, we'll go through that. Basically, I Fitspiration, that's right. Tassie, you cracked me up. Yeah, so like in the beginning, like I said, like my first goal, right, was like to be able to like get some new shoes for my daughter, and not feel guilty about it, and so it's really, the business is whatever you want it to be. it is, you know, you can go as fast as you want. You can go, you know, slow. You can ease into it. It's totally fine. You know, I kind of just, when, you know, new coaches come onto our team, you know, I have like I set up a call with them and just really try and understand their goals and what they're trying to accomplish. And then I kind of like match their efforts, right? I don't ever, you're never going to feel like forced into anything. You know, there's no like, I would never like put a quota on you saying like, you need to do this, right? Like, that's not the game that I play. You know, we just don't do that on our team, right? Like, we want to honor people and respect them. And hopefully that like kind of maybe relieves a little bit of pressure. You would never like be disappointing anyone. It's, you know, it's really what you make it and what you want out of it. You know, it's my job is to like, once I find that why for you, you know, there's a lot of up and downs in this business, right? So, you know, my job is just like when you are in those lows and you're just like, oh, I just don't know if this is for me, then my job is to remind you why you started in the beginning and then just to get you back to that point, right? Like, that's what I do as a coach, is just to like inspire you to be like, no, like, I get it. Like, you know, it's hard, but you know, when you first started, you wanted to, you know, do X, Y, and Z. Like, do you still want that? Most people say yes. Okay, then this is how we're going to get you there, right? So, but never like in a pressured way. It's just like, you know, I just want to, you know, you to get to that spot, right? Because there's a reason why you would want to join in the first place. So, you know, basically like how we earn, there's a 25% commissions, and on just like retail products, like any, you know, if someone gets a bag of Shakeology, if someone gets a program, then you would get 25% commission. If you start with a challenge pack, which is what most people start with because it's like the most bang for their buck. I'm almost done. Kids are falling apart. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so challenge pack. So if you start with a challenge pack, then you would get like that thing combined. It'd be like Shakeology, it would be programs. Right now we have this thing called an all access pass, which is amazing. You get like all the programs and you get Shakeology for like $160. So like for me, that's like a no-brainer. A lot of people have been starting with that because they're like, holy cow, like I can get one program for $60 or $100, or I can get all the programs for $160 plus Shakeology plus the containers that help out with figuring out the right way to eat. So huge deal. But when you know, sell a challenge pack, I guess I'll use those words, then it's more like a 40%, like 35 to 40% commission that you just like, to give you a little bit more of a bonus for, you know, because that's like the best way for people to see results is when you tie nutrition and, you know, and the workouts together. So they kind of incentivize you for that. And then from there, you know, we have basically like if you help like a certain amount of like 3 people in a month, then you can start to like get bonuses for the people that you're helping. And it's kind of gets a little bit confusing, but the simplest way to say it is that basically like if you help people and then especially, you know, and then you start to get people on your team that are helping people, then there's like really ridiculous income potential and you can just get qualified for a lot of bonuses. So, you know, those could be anywhere from like $16 bonus, you know, here or there for like the amount of people you're helping, but you know, it could be upwards to like thousands, right? So like that stuff is kind of like, you know, obviously like far, far away. I just mention it so that you kind of like can dream a little bit, right? Like just know that there is like, you know, it's a legitimate business that you can really like change your life with, but you know, it doesn't get there overnight. Like in the beginning I was making, you know, like my first month I covered my investment. That was, you know, my goal was to get those shoes, but I also was like, okay, I also don't have the money for this. So like, I really want to like, you know, earn back my investment. And so I was able to do that. So that's typically like the first goal that I help people with, because a lot of people are just like, yeah, if I can earn that back, that's great. Right. So that's what we, you know, kind of start with. But yeah, that's kind of what it is. You know, if we get, if you help 3 or more people, you can get, it's called Success Club. And when you do that, you get like fun, they reward us with, like last month we got a backpack, like a Beachbody backpack, which is cool. And we get just the month before that, we got like, they sent us little samples of like, the performance line, or, we've got sent like a shaker cup with samples of Shakeology before, just a lot of random things. And then every year there is like a trip that you can qualify for, that you can get like all expense paid. This year they just, got back from the Dominican Republic. Next year it's in Cancun. Those are amazing opportunities. You can also get a free trip to Summit, which is like every year we have like this big, huge convention with all coaches. Like there's like 30,000 coaches that show up, and you get to do workouts with like the trainers, with Shaun T or with Tony Horton. With all those trainers, they all show up, and we get to do a workout with them and just kind of like learn from the best in the business. That is really, yeah, that's how you earn money. You can make straight commissions. I tell people, like, if your goal should just be like hit Success Club, right? So helping like 3 to 5 people a month, so it's like 1 a week, is like, if you do that every single month, your business will definitely like progress a ton. And that's what I've been able to do. I've been able to do that for, let's see, I think I've only missed 1 month, I think. So 26, 27 months, something like that. And yeah, and so, now that, it went from like $150 and, in the first month to, now like 2 to 3,000, a week or a year, no, 2,000-3,000 a month. That's what I meant. A week, a year, but yeah, I plan like, by, we've been able to like pay off, how much debt? We've been able to pay off like $19,000 worth of debt. This year, we also just like paid cash for, we were going to DC this summer. My brother's getting married, so we were able to pay cash for that. Like all of our tickets, and we were able to, also like rent a condo. We're able to, yeah, like that was cool, right? Like we hadn't been able to do that, like not on a credit card, for like a long time, right? So that totally changed. It's changed our life, and I'm going down to New Orleans this year. That's where the Summit trip is. Been able to pay for that, without putting it on the card. We only have, I think we have like 10,000 left, like totally, to become like, we'll be debt free by the end of this year. Honestly, like if I were like 3 years ago, yeah, if I were to like think 3 years ago that like in 3 years you'd be debt free, that would have been nuts to me. Like I would have like, called you out on it, saying you're a liar. Like there's no way that can happen for you and for your life. Because, like when you're stuck in it, you just don't think that anything's ever going to change, right? Until like, someone had the courage to like invite me and say like, dream a little. Like my husband was working 3 jobs. Like I never saw him, and I was able, now I was able to like retire him in 3 years, right? Like that was nuts to me. But she was like, through her story, I was able to dream a little bit. And then now like mine, hopefully in some way you can like relate to it and say, yeah, I would like that for me and for my life too, right? Like if there's things that you don't like in your own life, then hopefully like that's, you have like maybe resonated a little bit, saying, yeah, maybe like this can change, right? Maybe my situation can change. But that's really like all that I wanted to share. Like to sign up, it's like ridiculously cheap in my opinion. It's only like $40 really, like to sign up, right? If you start with a challenge pack yourself, then that $40 fee would be waived. So that was like, with your own, if you started with your own Shakeology, with your own program, right now you can get all the programs. That was for like $160, but that $40 fee was waived. If you've already purchased a challenge pack, then you can for $40, or you can like get your $40 sign up fee reimbursed, right? So it would, technically be free to sign up if you've already purchased a challenge pack. Or you can purchase like another one, right? Like some other people, if they've already done a challenge pack, then they do like it's called like the 3-day refresh, which is kind of like a clean slate, nutritional approach for like 3 days that kind of helps you get back on track. Some people do that. But to me, that's like nothing, right? Like if it was more than that, like I probably wouldn't have been able to do it, right? I know people, like I have a friend, this is nuts, you guys. I have a friend that started like this travel, or with like a travel business type venture, kind of like, it was another like network marketing thing, but $11,000 to sign up. I know. I couldn't believe it. Like it was a cool model. Like I think I think it's going to work out for them. But holy cow, I was like, okay, like mine's like $40 or $160, right? Like it's not more than that. And you don't even have to like pay that much money again, right? Like it's this one-time fee and you're not going to have to pay it again. I know, like I was Tassie, like seriously, what is right? So, and even like other companies, like I've heard 2,000, and you have to hold like, you have to stock everything yourself and like all of those things. It's just crazy to me. So, and then with that, you also like, there's like, it's $15.95 a month. If you're military, you get that fee waived. But for that much money, you basically like, you pay Beachbody to take care of all that, like all the customer service. They have a great customer service. It's like Nordstrom service, customer service from my experience. And you get, you don't have to stock any programs. You don't have to stock any Shakeology. They run all of like your business on, all your office online, all of that stuff. So I feel like that's a pretty minimal fee. Like if someone said, hey, like I want to start up a business, and then for $17 or $16 a month, you like get to keep it going, like that's pretty awesome. Yeah, like that is what I wanted to share today. I kind of went over a little bit long, but basically like there's just this community of people that are positive, that want to support you. We're all here for you, and I kind of just encourage you to like step in to like, that tap on the shoulder that you might be like, hey, like maybe I should do this, right? Like maybe this is something that I can do, because honestly, I think everyone can do it. And we have a training system, this recipe that you can follow to be able to do it for yourself. So I'm going to open it up for questions. Sarah and Tassie, I know you were on the line. I will unmute you and let me know if you have any questions.
No, you don't need any M&Ms.
You don't need any M&Ms.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I just unmuted you. That was cute, though. Do you guys have any questions?
No.
Sarah, do you?
It's clear.
Did you say it's clear?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're not going to draw my notes.
How about you, Tassie? Are you good?
Just a couple questions, if my sons will stop grabbing things.
Totally.
Go see Daddy. Ándale. Eat. Go. Okay. So in your time of doing it, have you ever had somebody, who hasn't succeeded, that instead of like, owning up to whatever habits that they had that caused them not to succeed in their goals and stuff, that they've gone and like blamed you for it, or complained to you about it in like a negative view, not just I didn't get this done, but actually angry about it?
Yeah, people haven't gotten the results that they've wanted before. Not very many of them do. Like, I really try and, set them up for success, right? And we honestly, like, the programs and products, they've worked so well for so many people that I really just try and dig a little bit deeper as to why it isn't working for them, right? So typically I'm just like, well, tell me your experience, right? Like, give me a food journal, right? Like, tell me what you actually are eating. Be honest about it. Are you doing your workouts, right? Like, the system is proven. It's worked for so many people. It worked for me. It works for, for so many people. It's worked for you, that I just really try and kind of like unpeel those excuses as to why it didn't work for them, in a tactful way, and telling them like, hey, look, like, this is why it didn't work for you. Let's give it another shot, right? And then we kind of like, kind of course correct and say, hey, like this week, let's try this, and then go from there. So I've never like had someone angry about it. Sometimes, I mean, there is like a product back guarantee, right? Like for 30 days, they can try it. And, if it's not for them, then they can't, like if they're unsatisfied for any reason, then they can return it. I've had one person return it in the 2.5 years. And honestly, they didn't give it a fair shot, but they already kind of had a system that was working for them. They were just kind of addicted to like those classes at the gym. So, which is fine. And they liked them. And so, she just went back to doing those classes and it was fine. I know that you'll get results faster if you use these products. Because a lot of times, even if people do go to the gym, I do sometimes try and like challenge that. Because I'm like, yeah, no, going to the gym is fine, but having a system, like when you get there, like that, this could be your system, right? Like, even if you don't have a personal trainer, right? Like I have a personal trainer in my pocket. And so that's, I kind of just have that conversation with them. And typically that's, it kind of resolves the issue of just like, no, like these work for everyone. Let's figure out why it's not working for you yet. Does that answer your question, Cassie?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm being attacked by my boys with their balls right now.
Oh,
so.
You're totally fine. I get it. Trust me, I get it. I broke up a couple fights today. I was a referee. That was awesome. Do you have any other questions, Tassie?
No, I mean, I took notes, so,
okay.
I pretty much have everything written down.
Okay. All right, so I will end this call. I'll follow up with people after this call to see, after you've chewed on it a little bit, see kind of like, interest level 1 to 10, what are you thinking? And just really more trying to like, uncover any issues, work through any hesitations, anything like that. But honestly, I think this is for everyone. I think that it's really changed my life, and it can change yours. It can change your story. I wouldn't lie to you. This is it's just been a great opportunity for me to be able to like build that dream life, to like feed people, inspire people. It's really like filled my cup, and while keeping my priorities in line, which is awesome, right? Like I don't do it all day. That's what I'd want for you. I would want you to fill it in those cracks while you're still, honoring your husband, while you're still honoring your kids, while you're still, pursuing your passions outside of coaching. I think that you can do that, and and I can teach you how to do that, and be surrounded by this positive community of people that are, your cheerleaders that are like doing it alongside you. So with that, I'm going to sign off. It was great to see you guys, see you, Sarah and Tassie. Thanks for being on, and we will chat soon. Does that sound good?
Yep.
All right. Bye.
Bye.